Hey guys, Gary from Demi's Music. Sorry about the audio, I'm in my hallway and I'm shooting this on the phone. Anyway, I got a request from Hydrogen Human. Cheers mate for the request to break down one of my tracks called Atlantis. So that's what I've done. Let's have a look. Okay, here's a little insight into one of my tracks called Atlantis. I'm going to show you where I got the main riff from. This is a great insight into sampling skills, I suppose, you know, the sorts of things that I do. And where I get my inspiration from, I suppose, and why I choose certain bits. So this track is Alexander O'Neill, My Gift to You. It's actually a Christmas song. I've looped the main section. It took me ages to find it again because it was quite a while ago since I made it. I make sure that auto warp is switched off, okay, so that Ableton doesn't put a load of transients on here for you. And for complex sounds like this, it's a good idea to have the warp mode on complex, okay? Now I want to find the original tempo, or as close as we can, so that it makes it easier to stretch it out to the tempo that we want it to be, okay? And it's easier to loop it. So here's a good little website to do that. It's all8.com, and we're going to tap along any key on your keyboard, play along to the song, and we're going to find out the tempo. All right, so I think if you do it about 20 to 25 times, you've got a pretty good idea of it gives you the nearest hole over the amount of times that you've tapped. So before we enter 77 into the segment BPM, we're going to right click on the start marker and set 1.1.1 here. So it's really easy to track the beginning of the sample and how many bars we want it to last for. So it's a 4-bar loop, as I remember. So you can see this is roughly where it left it. So we know it's going to speed right up. It's going to shorten it all the way into a 4-bar loop. Okay, so we're going to enter 77 into this now. Enter. Okay, now theoretically this should be our 4-bar loop sped up. Let's listen. Now you can hear the beginning of the phrase starts here, so we just drag the start marker to there, and now every time this loop plays, it will start from that point. Okay, so that's pretty tight. I'm going to do some simple adjustments to the sound now, just to get it a little clearer. Now we're going to be making well, I always make my own bass lines to go underneath these things. So what I'm going to do is essentially just take out quite a lot of low end. So let's get an EQ8 on the go, low cut, and somewhere around, I don't do it by numbers, just do it by ear. Boost up the high mids a bit. So we want to take the bass line out really, you know, you want to make it your own. Another trick I do is add a little bit of chorus. That's way too much. Let's turn the BPM. I think it was about 124, 125. Usually when I'm putting these tracks together, I create just a simple beat to go along with it. In fact, sometimes it's a good idea just to have a default track which has got, say, a drum rack in it and some of your favourite sounds on there. I quite like the 707 kit. Okay, and what we can do is just Command-Shift-M and create a new MIDI clip there. And then we can just populate some beats. So I'm just going to play along. All right, so we've got the basics of it there. You can start to get the idea. And the next thing I do, just to make sure I'm happy that it's going to be, you know, have that kind of classic French pumping sound, I always set up a MIDI track, or actually what I can do, even easier, is just duplicate the whole of this drum rack that I've just created into another track. Okay, Command D on the track name, and then just take out everything except for the kicks. Okay, we're going to mute that. So we've got the MIDI information playing along, but not hearing it. Okay, and then we're going to put a compressor onto our sample. Open up sidechain. Take the audio from that silenced kit here, it's just a kick. Ratio 6 odd. Take the attack out. Pull down the threshold. And it's just a case of tweaking things to your own liking. I think I changed the key a little bit, which is always a nice idea, you know, separate it a little bit more. I think it was +2. Sounds about right to me. All right, guys. There you go. Part 1 done. If you want to know anything else more specific to this track or any of my other tracks, and how you can see how quickly that was put together, really, you know, I found a little loop that I really liked and went with it. You know, I chopped up various other parts of this track, changed the key, put them in different orders. Probably this chorus bit, I suppose, is the only bit that's 4 bars long, exactly like the original. I mean, obviously the start point, even something as simple as changing the start point in a rhythm. So we've got the end of the phrase is actually happens before it originally, so it turns it into something different. If I just shift this along. See, it's a totally different sound. It's just what worked at the time, and the trick is really not deliberate it over too much. If you like it, keep it and move on to the next bit, and that's what I did. So there you go. If you want to hear the original track, I've put a link of it, not the original track, my completed track. I've put a link to it in the description box below. If you like this video and you want me to do more videos like this, deconstructing not just my tunes, I'd be more than happy to deconstruct any other songs, particularly in French house, deep house, new disco, any of that kind of genre. Do let me know in the comments. I love hearing back from you guys, and I look forward to making the next video. Cheers guys, see you very soon.